Omo, how far? If you're just coming, welcome. And if you're returning, welcome back. So, right now, we're about to check out a clip from the Joe Rogan podcast. And this is Joe Rogan on the horrible things the Pope has done. So apparently, the Pope has done a bunch of horrible things. I'm sure Catholics are not going to like this video. But if you are Catholic or if you're Christian, the only thing that I urge you to do is just just have an open mind. Let's actually listen to what they've said, and then I can give you my opinions, and then you can now choose to either accept, or if you have any arguments or if you have any counter claims, then you can put those claims in the comments below. So without further ado, let's get into the video.
Pope Benedict, he had the craziest past because he was charged with moving priests around that had committed atrocities.
Yeah.
And he moved one to a place where they molested 100 deaf kids.
What?
Yes. Google that.
100?
100 deaf kids got molested by this one priest that he had moved when he was a cardinal.
No, you don't hear him coming. That's the problem.
Wait, which Pope was that?
You can't even help yourself.
Cut it out.
Son of a
Cut it out.
bitch.
That is,
Son of a
but the new one's supposed to be chill, right? I don't fucking know.
Well, I think he had to take it down a notch, so the new one got, fucking a regular throne. It's like, this gold throne's a little outdated.
And he's like pro-gay marriage and all that stuff. Yeah.
That's nice.
A little bit more than 100.
200 deaf kids. Oh, my God. The priest might have molested 200 deaf boys. Top Vatican officials, including future Pope Benedict the 16th, did not defrock a priest who molested as many as 200 deaf boys, even though several American bishops repeatedly warned them that failure to act on the matter could embarrass the church, according to the files recently unearthed as part of a lawsuit. Imagine your concern is embarrassing the church, not that this guy is fucking kids. Imagine.
Yeah, we don't want the church to look bad.
Imagine your concern, and not one guy, but multiple bishops, right?
Yeah. It's nuts. Have you been to the
So first of all, oh man. So first of all, this is something that is known. So the way the priest, so like the other bishops, now I'm talking about the other bishops that knew that this guy was molesting these children. Their problem was not the molestation. Their problem was maybe the fact that the guy was doing it to such an extreme degree. So like normal thing in Nigeria, say if you're doing your bad, do it codedly, may nobody know, but the thing don't spill over, you get it, don't cast, that kind of thing. So they were afraid of it, getting casted or getting exposed, and embarrassing the church, rather than the fact that this guy was actually destroying the lives of these boys, and because they were all handicapped, they couldn't do anything about them. So they didn't even care about the fact that this guy was doing this thing to helpless children, man. And the Pope knew about it, and they constantly were warning the Pope, like, yo, do something about this, and the Pope refused to. At least that's the then Pope Benedict the 16th. I know he passed away recently, so this is no way, this is not a video trying to, mock the dead, or try to insult somebody, when after they've passed away. This is not that type of video. At the end of it, I didn't even know that it was Pope Benedict that they were talking about. But the thing about it, the main fact is, like, there's been a lot of shady stuff about the Catholic Church, and there has been for a long time. But because of, the level of prestige, that a lot of people, and the pedestal that a lot of people put the Catholic Church on, particularly, Catholics, and the standing that the Catholic Church has had. We're talking about literally the Holy Roman Empire existed for more than 1,000 years, and before that, the Roman, you have the Emperor of Rome, you have the Bishop of Rome, and things like that. So the Catholic Church has been very, very powerful for a very, 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 very long time. So there have been generations of people that have been indoctrinated into the Catholic way of life. And it's not far-fetched to say that people at the top of such organizations have a lot of power and have tendencies to abuse that power. Especially priests that, like, one of the things about being a priest is taking a vow of celibacy. So you can imagine a grown-ass man throughout all his life, not having sex even once. Like, for a lot of people, yeah, I'm sure they can do it because they understand their duty to God and all those kind of things. But a lot of people will simply not just follow those rules. And if not, and rather than, being the priest that got caught having sex with a woman, or got having sex with, a young girl, might as well just do it to boys, because the boys are being raised up to be priests like them. So they probably won't even be able to say anything anyways. And this is something that is like anytime you see maybe any atheist or any person from any other religious group, they want to insult Catholic priests. That's the first thing they bring up. Molestation of boys to people, to the point where it's become like an inside joke. But still to today, nothing is being done about it. People just either sweep it under the rug, or they just act like it never happened, or everybody's just pointing there, you said this, you said that. Everybody's just, now turning the argument to the people that are now calling out these things and saying, now how can you say that about a priest and this like that? Nobody ever wants to address the issue. Nobody ever wants to talk about it. Even the victims themselves, these boys that are being molested, they are human beings, as well. So what happened to their own opinion and all these kind of things? So I just find it interesting because this is not the first time that I've heard about these things. So this is literally just another case in which a priest was molesting boys, and this one the priest had more than 200 to molest and nothing was done about it. So yeah, I'm already, as you can see, I'm already getting into a heated start. So without further so let's just get
Vatican, by the way?
Yes, on edibles.
That shit is dark.
I went there on edibles.
Did you?
Yeah.
That shit creeped me out,
Yeah.
dude. The whole time
my
I was
whole
like,
family.
I don't like this at all.
He said with
I just
his
didn't
own
like
family.
the fact that they were like,
It's
we
fascinating.
have our own cops.
Well, no extradition.
We can do whatever we want.
They're basically a country
They have their
inside
own
of
bank.
a city.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
their own rules, their own
exactly.
laws.
And there's a bunch of people in there that people would like to try.
Yeah.
So basically, they can get away with anything. Like, I hope you guys are seeing, some people say, conspiracy theory, blah, blah, blah. I want you guys to at least, just try and think critically, We're not saying that these things are fact, but at least just be open to the possibilities. So basically, the Vatican is a country inside of, a country. It's a country inside of Rome that's inside of Italy, right? It's his own country. Its ruler is the Pope. You get, by default, he has his own constitution. He has his own laws. He has his own, you get. So in that kind of country that is so small, it means there's untouchables. There has to be untouchables, or at least people where that, okay, if they want to actually keep things hush hush and not really tell you about things that go on, you can't really know why, because it's their own country, man. It's the same way how if a politician here in Nigeria, likes small girls, likes, doing whatever with 12-year-olds, and the guy just happens to be a governor of his own state, and, you now live in a country like Nigeria where, the governor tends to have more power than even the House of Assembly or, or the police force or that kind of thing. So everybody serves him. He's the boss. Everybody knows what the boss is doing, but nobody can do anything about him because he's the boss. You get that kind of thing. So it's so easy for that same kind of setup to happen in Vatican, because the Vatican is literally just a city, man. So it's just a few people, and it is extremely, extremely complicated to get Vatican citizenship, if at all you can even get it. So the barrier to entry is already extremely high, so I hope you get, so it's going to be so easy to get away from solving that kind of thing, because it's literally just a tiny ass country, man. You have no jurisdiction. The Italian police cannot enter inside the Vatican and start dictating what they are doing inside there. So if the Pope actually is committing atrocities, there's nothing that can be done about it, man. Unless number one, the Pope maybe commits the crime outside the Vatican, given whatever country that accuses the Pope of that jurisdiction over that. But at the same time, they now have to find a way to extradite the Pope. You get, because they don't have extradition laws. So if they are accused for a crime in another country, their government, they can just decide to stay in the Vatican for the rest of their life and nothing will happen. So yeah, so we can understand, for the people that that are faithful to their religion. I'm not saying don't be faithful to your religion, but at the end of the day, the one thing that we should always be mindful of is these are human beings, man. And as man is capable of extreme good, he's also capable of extreme evil, man. As above, so below, man. It's just what it is. So more so for people in powerful positions, man. There is no way power is not abused in some way, shape, or form. It's just what it is. The nature of power, I can even say on my own self, the nature of power is to be abused, man. Because there's nothing more intoxicating than having the power, especially the power over people. So yeah, second rant done. Let's get back to the video.
They would like to pull them out of there and try them.
Can't do it.
For crimes against humanity.
Protected. You saw that documentary about the little girl that went missing from the Vatican?
No.
No?
No.
I don't even know what it's
He
called,
said
Jamie.
no.
The girl who went missing is what I think my instinct is saying, but it's about a resident You know, there's a small amount of residents that live in the Vatican walls in Vatican City. Her family was one of them. And this has got to be, I don't know, 30 years ago. She went missing. And the story is fucking wild.
Yeah, it's called Vatican,
Vatican Girl.
I just Googled it 2 days ago. It says they've reopened the case, so I don't know.
Dude, you have to watch this. It's bananas.
What do they think happened?
Well, there's a bunch of different conspiracies. There's a bunch of different, like, there is kind of a somewhat clear-cut answer in it, but there's multiple points where even they go, I don't know. This may come from multiple avenues of this being a very well-coordinated thing, like a kidnapping, and it's crazy. And they just reopened it up.
Kidnapping from someone who lives in the Vatican?
I don't want to tell you.
The family lived there. It says there might have been a kidnapping to blackmail the Pope at the time.
There's a bunch of different theories, and as you watch it, they talk about multiple theories about, like, what it's like. But also, the crazy thing is, you'd think if you lived in the Vatican, you're living on, you know, high on the hog. No. These people were, like, commoner, lower class to lower middle class. It's not because they're in there. You're not, like, automatically, you know, living like a king. If you're just a citizen.
So were they help? Did they work there?
Yeah, they were workers. They were workers.
Oh, so the workers live there.
But they don't treat them any kind of, it's like they all live pretty, you know, modestly. And your family's born into it, so you're kind of born in it. And this girl she would go to a school outside of the Vatican walls, like a performance art school, if I'm not mistaken, and, you know, a regular route from there to there, there to there, there to there, and then one day
disappear.
Here's why. The Pope's longtime secretary is about to release a book this week.
Ruh-roh.
And that's why they may have invested. He says he's got information on it that's going to come out in the book.
About that girl.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Wow.
That's wild, dude.
Wow.
This is 2 days ago this just started popping up?
Yeah. Like
I don't care if I didn't see it.
Wow.
Vatican reopens investigation.
That's her, yeah. Emanuela
1983 she went missing.
Orlandi.
Dude,
40 years ago, yeah.
They've gotten away with so much. They've gotten away with so much.
So sketch.
And I know everybody wants to concentrate, and rightly so, on Epstein Island.
Yeah.
But how about the Vatican? How about just the entire... You could be a person who doesn't know how to read, and you know that priests fuck kids.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Someone that's barely heard of it's like, oh, I did hear about those guys.
Everybody knows that
dude.
that's a problem.
Yeah.
It's not like NASCAR drivers. It's like, imagine if NASCAR car drivers were known for molesting children. You'd be like, that is cool. Why is that still a thing?
Mm-hmm.
It's part of a culture, man.
But forever, people knew that priests fuck
Exactly.
kids.
100%.
It's never happened to me, but I've had multiple friends that were in Catholic school. They got chased by a priest. This one guy went on a retreat with this priest, and the priest made him sleep in the bed with him, and he was like chasing him around the room.
No.
And he had to like literally fight off the priest and scream, and he wouldn't give in.
What was the name of the movie that exposed all that stuff?
Yo.
You know, about the newspaper. Mark Ruffalo? What? Am I crazy? Why can't I think of the name of that fucking...
Boston newspaper?
Yeah.
Bro, this.
But that was it was a real story where the Boston Globe, Spotlight, and they went out of their way to expose them. Or in real life, they made the movie about it, but it's like didn't even do anything, didn't do shit.
That's so crazy.
A credible newspaper was like, we have unbelievable amounts of evidence, and still it's like, no, what are you gonna do?
They don't even lose their tax-free
Bruh.
exemption.
I know. Nothing happens.
The tax-free thing is wild because when Scientology got it, you're like, yo, like what is this? What is this thing? You get no taxes if you claim that you're a religion.
Yeah.
Did you know how many fucking religions there could be?
This is a religion. You could say your show is a religion. But there you go. You have loyal listeners.
So what? It's just conversations.
But that could be a
There's
religion.
no rules.
How do you apply to make a religion? Look it up. I'm serious.
Listen, stop fucking with me.
This is a religion. You know it is. You know it's like an inch away from being one. You could just say people who you have followers. They listen to you. They like what you put out. Doesn't mean you have to have some sort of like spiritual ideology. Religion could be anything. This could slot as a religion, for sure. It just means a bunch of people listen to, a uniform thought process. If you put out like a continual thing, I don't think you need a book. I don't think you need shit.
You know Alex Gray?
Uh-uh.
The visionary artist. I'm sure you've seen his work.
Okay.
On every dorm room wall of someone who smokes weed, they have an Alex Gray poster.
It's Jad or Justin Bua. The piano guy. You've seen that was also in the dorm rooms.
This is Alex Gray.
Yeah.
You've seen his work. Well, Alex Gray started a religion, like a legitimate religion. Like he's a real, like really spiritual person. Like legitimately, when you meet him, you're blown away. He's the real deal. And he has a church that he built that is designed around his art. And he got tax exempt status. It's called Entheon. That's the church. Like, this is the place. Like, how amazing is that?
Where is that?
It's in upstate New York. So he bought land, and then he set it up for a church and made it tax exempt. But you got to see what it looks like on the outside. I mean, this is the inside. It's fucking gorgeous because it's a church that's designed by an amazing artist.
Whoa.
That's the outside of it. Look at that. Entheon. Play that video. Yeah, go full screen, please. It's amazing.
Yo.
Oh my God.
And, you know, this guy's been an incredible artist forever.
Yo.
But he had, the first time he came on the podcast,
Yo,
he had
that shit doesn't look real, man. The reality is this. These guys are human beings. But by nature of the religion in itself, you tend to hold them to, you know, a higher standard because they are representatives of God on earth. But the thing about that is, as much as they are representatives of God on earth, they are not infallible, man. They are still human beings, and they are still capable and culpable of a lot of evil, and it's just what it is, man. You know, I've literally seen priests, at least in Nigeria. Okay, I'm sure there's a lot of cases, but you know, if for the people that are courageous to come out and talk about them, they are very, very few. But the thing about it is, I've literally seen priests that maybe have not necessarily done any of the things in the Joe Rogan video, but they will literally extort people and extort them and extort them and extort them in order to build a new church. You know, literally collecting millions at a time from people with no remorse to build a new church. Oh, come and build Father's house. Come and build this new church. Come and start this new project. You know, collecting offering up to 5 times. Collecting offering up to 5 times in one service. Not giving people the final blessing before they even leave, just so that they can drop offering or do 1,000 or whatever. Raising money. And for what? If you ask them, they'll say they are building God's house. But then the same priest will now still turn around and then use their own parking lot for the Father's house for VIP parking, man. VIP parking inside a church. This is church. We're all supposed to be equal in the eyes of God. So why is there VIP parking? You know, so like all these kind of things, man. You know, so you know, you worship your God and everything, but at the same time, I think people just have to understand that, man, sometimes you have to separate the church and the beliefs from the human beings, man, and then operate on that level. If somebody is doing evil, regardless of who they are, you have to call them out for it, man. Evil should not be tolerated. You cannot say that because somebody is doing evil and they are a priest, or you think that they are now different from you or what, or you think because of the fact that they are a priest that that automatically their prayers for forgiveness are going to be answered or what. Like, nah, that's bullshit, man. You know, and if you're rocking with that, I can't rock with you, like straight and simple. So it's just what it is, you know. Let me know you guys thoughts in the comments. It's definitely a controversial topic, but it's something that I just felt that I should shed light on, you know. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you didn't, or if you don't, you know, if you think that I shouldn't be watching videos like this, then no problem, put it in the comments below. If you think that there's other things I've been interested in, please also put it in the comments below. And yeah, please like and subscribe if you made it this far. I appreciate all of you guys for watching, and if you have nothing to lose, you have nothing to gain. Bye bye.